Welcome to my channel. Have you ever dreamed of speaking English, but felt too shy, too slow, or just not good enough? Well, I have something for you. Can't, a story. My story. A journey from zero to confidence. I was just like you. I was afraid to speak, but then one day, everything changed. This video will show you how I went from a nervous beginner to someone who speaks, works, and even teaches English in London. Dignier. Do you also want to go to London one day? Or maybe speak English better? Deppen. Comment below if that's your dream too. Now let's begin. Chapter E. The E. The train. It is a warm summer morning. I sit on a train. I have my small bag. I feel a little nervous. I am going to a new city. I am going to learn English. I am just a beginner, but I have a big dream. I want to speak English fluently. I look around the train. Across from me, two ladies are sitting. They are talking, but I listen to their voices. They are speaking in English. I can understand some small words, but not everything. Still, I try to catch more. This is English. This is real English. I feel something strong inside. I want to speak too. I want to try. I look at the ladies. I feel shy. What if I say something wrong? What if they don't understand me? What if I look stupid? But my heart says, this is your moment. You have to try, so I take a deep breath. I smile. I say, hello? You speak English? The ladies stop talking. They look at me. They smile too. One of them says, yes, we do. I feel better. I try again. I say, I learn English. I am a beginner. They listen with patience. They speak slowly. We start a small conversation. I tell them where I come from. I tell them I want to go to London to study English. I speak very slowly. I do not know many words, but I try. I speak with my heart, and they understand me. I feel so happy. We talk for about 10 minutes. It is not a long time. But for me, it feels special. It is my first real conversation in English. They tell me they are from England. They are going home after a conference. They are kind. They do not laugh at my English. They help me. They listen. When my stop comes, I say, thank you. Thank you for talking with me. One of the ladies gives me a paper. Kay? She writes her phone number. She says, if you ever come to England, call us. I cannot believe it. A real English person gave me her number. She trusts me. She believes I can learn. That moment changes everything. I get off the train. The door closes. The train moves again. I stand on the platform. My hands shake. I hold the paper. I feel like crying. Not because I am sad, but because I am full of hope. I just spoke English with real people. I was afraid, but I did it. I think, maybe I can do more. Maybe I can really learn. That day, when I reach my home, I open my notebook. I start writing. I write everything I said, everything they said. I try to remember all the words. I look up the new words in the dictionary. I feel so excited. I decide I will practice every day. I will read English texts. I will translate songs. I will watch movies. I will work hard. I will make English part of my life. The day pass. I study at night. I practice simple sentences. I try to speak to myself. I make mistakes, many mistakes. But I never stop. Every time I feel tired, I remember the two ladies. Kang, their kind eyes, their warm voices, their hope. After 6 months, I notice something. I can understand more. I can speak more. I can even watch a small movie in English and understand the story. I feel stronger. I feel ready. I decide something big. I will go to London. I will study English there. I want to speak with people every day. I want to live the language. I want to know more. I look for English schools in London. I find one that looks good. I send an email. They reply. They say I can join their course. I book my ticket. I pack my bag. I say goodbye to my family. My mother hugs me and says, "Be brave." My father smiles and says, "We are proud of you." My heart beats fast. I feel fear, but also fire. This is the beginning of something new, something beautiful. I am not perfect in English, but I have the will. I have the dream. And now I have a plan. I am going to London. My new journey starts now. Chapter R. The Decision. Yo. It is early morning. I sit at my desk with a cup of tea. My notebook is open. There are many English words inside. Some are easy. Some are difficult. I try to say them aloud. My voice is quiet, but I speak slowly. Every day I do the same. I read short texts in English. I watch movies with subtitles. I listen to songs and try to understand the lyrics. I use a small dictionary to translate words. Sometimes I understand everything. Sometimes I understand nothing. But I continue. I don't stop. I know I am still a beginner, but I can feel something is changing. My English is getting better. I can see progress. I can feel the words living inside me. That makes me happy. But also, I want more. After 6 months of learning at home, I feel ready for something new. I feel a strong desire to learn faster, to speak more, to use real English every day. I think about the train. I think about the two kind ladies. I still have their number. I look at it often. They told me I could visit them. I wonder, should I go? Should I take this big step? My heart says yes. My mind is scared. I imagine myself in London, speaking English every day, going to school, working in a cafe, meeting new people. It feels like a dream. But dreams can be real if we try. I make my decision. I will go to London. I want to learn English not only from books or screens. I want to learn from life. I start preparing. I search for English schools in London. I read many websites. I look at the pictures. I read the reviews. I don't understand every word, but I try. I find a school that looks simple and friendly. They have classes for beginners like me. I send them an email. It takes me 1 hour to write that email. I check every sentence many times. I ask, "Can I join your class?" The next day, they reply. They say, "Yes, you are welcome." I smile. I feel nervous but happy. I tell my family. They are surprised. My mother asks, "Are you sure?" I say, "Yes, I want to go. I want to speak English." K. My father nods. He knows this is my dream. I buy a plane ticket. I book a small room in a student hostel. I prepare my bag. I take only a few clothes, my notebook, and my small English dictionary. The night before my flight, I can't sleep. My heart is fast. I feel fear. What if I can't understand anyone? What if I get lost? What if I miss my family? But I tell myself, this is your time. You worked hard. Now go. Trust yourself. The next morning, I take a taxi to the airport. I sit near the window of the plane. As the plane goes up, I look down at my city. I say goodbye to my old life. I know something new is coming. When I arrive in London, everything feels different. The air, the voices, the signs. People speak fast. I try to listen, but it's hard. I hear many accents. I feel small, but I smile. I walk to the hostel. I check in. The lady at the desk says, "Welcome." I say, "Thank you." It's a small word, but it feels big. I am really here. In the evening, I go for a walk. The city lights shine. I see buses, shops, people. I hear English everywhere. It's beautiful. It's also scary. I say to myself, this is not a holiday. This is your new life. I wake up early the next morning. It is Monday. It is my first day at school. I wear my clean shirt. I take my notebook. I walk slowly to the school. My legs feel heavy. I don't know what to expect. When I enter the building, I see a group of students. They all look different. Some are from Europe, some from Asia, some from Africa. We all have one thing in common. We are here to learn English. That makes me feel better. A young woman comes to us. She is our teacher. She smiles and says, "Good morning. Please tell me your name and where you are from." One by one, we speak. When it's my turn, I say, "My name is Ariel. I am from Spain." My voice shakes, but I do it. The teacher asks us, "How did you study English before?" I tell her I read songs, watched films, and translated texts. I say, "I want to speak better." She smiles. She says, "You don't have to study hard. You have to use the language. In this class, we will not use textbooks. We will speak, listen, and understand English by using it." I feel surprised. No textbooks, no grammar rules, only real English? I like it. We speak in pairs. We ask each other, "What do you do in your free time? What food do you like?" It is simple, but I enjoy it. I speak for censors minutes. I have never spoken English for so long in my life. I make mistakes, but nobody laughs. Everyone tries. After the class, I feel something new inside. I feel free. I am not just learning English. I am living it. I walk back to my hostel. I feel tired, but happy. I write in my notebook. I write, "Today was the first day. It was good. I spoke English. Yansh. I listened. I made mistakes, but I learned." I look out of the window. The sky is gray, but I feel light. I know this is just the beginning. I came to London with a small dream. But now, maybe the dream will grow. Chapter 10. The first lesson. It is my second day in London. I wake up early. My room is small and quiet. I hear the city sounds outside: cars, people, buses. I sit on the bed for a moment and take a deep breath. Today is my first full lesson. I feel a mix of things inside: excitement, nervousness, and a little fear. I don't know what the teacher will say. I don't know if I will understand everything. I can't. I don't know if I will speak enough. But I tell myself again, you are here now. This is your moment. You must try. I wear my jacket and leave the hostel. The air is cold but fresh. Eh? The school is not far. I walk slowly, looking at the shops and signs. Everything is in English. I read the signs out loud in my head. I try to speak with my eyes. When I reach the school, I see the other students again. Some are talking. Some are quiet like me. We all smile at each other. We are all learning. That makes me feel safe. Our teacher comes. Oh. She smiles and says, "Let's go to class." We follow her inside. The room is simple. There are chairs, a whiteboard, and a small clock. No big books. No long desks. Just us and the teacher. She stands in front of the room and says, "Welcome. This is your class. This is your journey." Then she asks everyone to say their name and their country. Some speak fast. Some speak slowly. Some are shy. Some are confident. But everyone tries. When it's my turn, I say, "My name is Ariel. I am from Spain." I say it slowly but clearly. My heart beats fast, but I feel proud. I am speaking English. After the introductions, the teacher smiles again. She says, "Today we start something different. We will not use textbooks. We will not memorize long lists. We will speak. We will listen. We will use the language the way it is used in real life." I feel surprised. No grammar books? No tests? Just communication? She explains more. She says, Many students spend years studying English but cannot speak. Why? Because they learn about English, not with English. We will change that. I look around. Everyone is listening. Everyone is interested. Then she asks, "How did you study English before?" One student says, "I read grammar rules." Another says, "I learned word lists." I say, "I translate songs. I try to watch movies." The teacher nods. She says, "These are not bad, but they are only the start." Now we go deeper. Now we live the language. The teacher continues speaking. She says, "We use languages for one big thing, communication. When you were a baby, you spoke your language without reading books. Can't? You listened. You spoke. You made mistakes. And you learned. We will do the same here." I feel something open inside me. I think maybe learning English doesn't have to be hard. Maybe it can be natural. She gives us our first task. She says, "Talk to your partner about your hobbies. What do you like to do in your free time?" I turn to the student next to me. He is from Turkey. He smiles. We start speaking. I say, "I like music. I like football. I like learning English." He says, "I like books. I like cooking." We speak slowly. Pent. We help each other with words. I feel nervous, but also happy. I am not studying English. I am using English. For the whole lesson, we speak. Sometimes we speak in pairs. Kank, sometimes with the teacher. Sometimes we listen. Sometimes we repeat. The class feels alive. It is not quiet. It is full of voices, full of learning. I make many mistakes. I forget words. I say things wrong, but nobody laughs. Nobody judges. The teacher smiles and corrects gently. I learn new words. I hear real English. I feel the words in my mouth, not just in my head. This is new for me. This is exciting. After 1 hour, I look at the clock. I cannot believe it. Time goes so fast. For the first time in my life, I have spoken English for a whole hour without stopping. I have never done this before. I feel proud. I feel strong. I feel like I can do this. After class, I walk back to the hostel. I look at people. I listen to their voices. I hear English everywhere. This time, it feels different. It does not scare me. It makes me want to join. I go to my room. I write in my notebook again. I write, "Today was my first full lesson. I spoke a lot. I made mistakes, but I also made progress. I like this method. It is real. It is human. It helps." Then I sit back and smile. I look at the small paper the ladies gave me on the train. I think because of them I am here. And I whisper, "Thank you." Chapter 4. How to learn words. The next morning, I wake up before my alarm. I feel something new in me, a kind of quiet happiness. Yesterday I spoke English for a whole hour. I made mistakes, yes, but I also made real progress. I want to do more. I want to speak better. I want to understand more. Today is Tuesday. I get ready and walk to school again. The air in London feels fresh. Hang. I see people walking, talking, laughing. I hear English on every street. I try to listen. I try to understand, but some words are new to me. I try to guess their meaning. It is not easy, but it is interesting. I think, how can I learn more words? I want to speak better, but I need more words. When I reach the school, I sit at my desk. I take out my notebook. I write, how to learn more words. In class, the teacher smiles and says, "Does anyone have a question today?" A student from Brazil raises her hand. She says, "I want to know, what is the best way to learn new words?" I look at her. I feel the same question in my heart. I want to know the answer too. Our teacher nods. She says, "That is a great question. Many students want to learn more words, and there is a simple answer." She walks to the board and writes one word in big letters. Reading. She turns to us and says, "The best way to learn new words is to read. Read every day. Read things you like. Read things you understand. Read stories. Read simple books. Read again and again." She continues, "When you read, you see the same words many times. Your brain remembers them better. You learn not only the word, but how to use the word. Ging. You see the word in a sentence. You see how the word connects with other words. This is better than just learning words from a list. Third, a list is cold. A story is warm. Nank. When you read a story, the words come alive. I listen to her words like music. I think about the songs I translated. I think about how I remembered some English lines easily because I loved the music. I understand now. When we enjoy what we read or hear, we remember more. The teacher gives more advice. She says, "Choose texts that are right for your level. If you don't understand many words, it is too hard. If you understand almost everything, it is too easy. You should understand about bifunjiju of the words. That is the best." Then she says something very important. When you see a new word, look it up in the dictionary. But don't stop reading. You don't need to write the word down. You don't need to memorize it. Just understand it and continue reading. The word will come back. It will return. You will see it again. And one day, you will know it. I feel surprised. I always thought I had to remember every new word the first time. I thought I had to write them down and study them again and again. But now my teacher says I don't have to do that. I can relax. I can just read. I like this idea. It feels natural. It feels simple. I write in my notebook, read Sensors minutes every day. Don't worry. Just enjoy. After the class, I talk to another student. He is from Japan. He says he likes reading simple English stories. He tells me about a small book called The Secret Garden. He says it is easy and beautiful. I go to a small bookshop after school. I ask the lady, "Do you have The Secret Garden in easy English?" She smiles and says, "Yes, right here. I buy the book." That evening, I read the first chapter. It is slow. I don't understand every word, but I like the story. I understand most of it. I look up a few words in the dictionary. I don't write them down. I just read. Later that night, I go for a walk. I think about today's lesson. I think about the book. I think about how many words I saw in just one chapter. I whisper the new words as I walk. I try to remember them. Some stay, some don't. But I am not afraid. I know now that I will see them again. I remember what the teacher said. Words. Return. That makes me feel calm. The next morning at school, I feel stronger. I feel ready. The teacher talks about working in London. She says many students get part-time jobs. I feel excited. I want to work. I want to meet people. I want to use English in real life. I ask other students, "Do you know where I can find a job?" One girl tells me go to the job center. They help students. After school, I walk to the job center. I talk to a lady at the desk. I say, "I am looking for a job. I am a student." She smiles and says, "Do you want to clean or work in a cafe?" Do you want to clean or work in a cafe? Do you want to clean or work in a cafe? I say, I never worked before, but I want to learn. She looks at me kindly. She says, "Your English is good. You can try the cafe. You will start Thursday." I walk out of the job center with a paper in my hand. T. My first job in English. My heart is full. I say to myself, I can do this. I look at the sky. I smile. I whisper, "Thank you." Chapter 5. Starting work. No, Thursday comes quickly. I wake up early. My hands are a little cold. My heart beats fast. Today is my first day at work. It is not a school. It is not a book. It is real. I look at myself in the mirror. I wear a clean shirt. I try to smile. I say, "Good morning. How can I help you?" I practice the sentence again and again. I know I will need it at the cafe. I take my notebook and my small dictionary and put them in my bag. I walk to the cafe. I look at the people in the street. I look at the shops. I feel like everyone is better than me. Everyone speaks fast. Everyone walks fast. But I keep going. I tell myself, you are learning. You are trying. That is enough. When I arrive at the cafe, I see a young woman standing behind the counter. She smiles and says, "Hi, are you Ariel?" I say, "Yes." She says, "Great. I'm Emma." I'll train you today. Her voice is kind. She speaks slowly. I feel a little better. Eng. She shows me everything. The coffee machine, the cups, the sandwiches, the cakes. She explains how to clean the tables, how to talk to customers, how to use the cash register. I try to listen to every word, but some words are new. I feel lost sometimes. I nod and say, "Okay." I try. Emma watches me make a coffee. I press the wrong button. The milk spills. I say, "Sorry." She laughs and says, "It's okay. You're learning." I smile. I clean it up and try again. This time it works. She says, "See? You got it." A customer comes in. Emma says, "Go ahead. Say hello." I walk to the counter. I say, "Good morning. What do you like?" The man smiles and says, "One black coffee, please." I repeat, "One black coffee." I make the coffee and give it to him. He says, "Thank you." I say, "You are welcome." It is a small conversation, only a few words, but it feels big. I spoke to a real customer in English. I helped someone. I feel strong. After a few hours, I feel tired. My feet hurt. My head is full of new words, but I don't stop. I keep going. Emma helps me. She corrects me when I say something wrong. She shows me the right way. I learn by doing. I make mistakes, but every mistake is a lesson. I learn. I learn fast. I listen. I repeat. I say words out loud. I speak with my hands and my heart. At the end of the shift, Emma says, "Good job today. You're doing well." I say, "Thank you so much." I walk home slowly. My body is tired, but my heart is happy. I did something I never did before. I worked in English. That night, I sit in my room. I write in my notebook again. I write, "Today I worked in a cafe. I made coffee. I spoke to customers. I made mistakes. But I learned. I am not afraid." I look out the window. The lights in London shine. Feel like I am part of something now. I am not just a student. I am a worker. I am a learner. I am a speaker. The next morning, I go to school again. My teacher says, "How was your first job?" I smile and say, "It was good. I speak English at work." She says, "That's the best classroom. Real life." In class, another student raises a hand. She says, "When I speak English, I feel nervous. I don't know if I say things right." I understand her feeling. I feel the same sometimes. But now I also feel something new. Courage. My teacher says, "You don't need to speak perfectly. You need to speak. Practice makes you better." I agree. I saw that at the cafe. I made mistakes, but I kept speaking, and I got better. I want to tell the student, don't be afraid. Just speak. Even small words can open big doors. Heck, after school, I go to the cafe again. It's my second shift. This time I know more. I know how to make coffee. I know how to smile. I know how to say anything else and enjoy your drink. I speak slowly, but with more confidence. One customer asks, "Where are you from?" I say, "I'm from Spain. I learn English here." He says, "Your English is good." I say, "Thank you very much." My smile is real. I feel proud. When the day ends, I think, this job is not just for money. It is for my English. Every customer is my practice. Every sentence is my lesson. I write again in my notebook. Learning English is not only in school. It is everywhere. It is in every hello, every thank you, every smile. I close my notebook and go to bed. I dream of coffee cups, kind people, and simple English words. I feel lucky. I feel alive. Chapter 6. Pronunciation Problems. It is Wednesday morning. I walk to school with a happy heart. I feel good about my work at the cafe. I feel good about speaking English with real people. But there is still something inside me that makes me feel small. I know some words. I understand more and more. I can even talk, but still, when I speak, I hear something strange in my voice. My English doesn't sound like the English I hear on the radio or in movies. My words are not clear. Sometimes people ask me to repeat. Sometimes I hear my own voice, and I feel embarrassed. I think maybe my pronunciation is bad. I want to speak better. I want people to understand me easily. I want to feel confident when I speak. But I don't know how to fix this. I hope the teacher will talk about it today when I reach class. I sit near the same students as before. Woody, the students saw before. We smile and say good morning to each other. Then the teacher walks in. She looks happy. She says, "Does anyone have a question today?" A boy from South Korea slowly raises his hand. He always sits quietly and doesn't speak much, but today he speaks. His voice is soft. He says, "I have a problem with pronunciation. I want to speak better, but I feel shy. I know many words. I understand English, but I don't want to speak because my pronunciation is not good. I feel bad about it." Everyone listens. We all feel what he feels. I understand him. His words are my words too. I want to know the answer. Our teacher looks at him kindly. She says, "Thank you for your honesty." Many students feel the same. Pronunciation is a big problem for many people. But there is good news. There is a simple way to get better. She walks to the board. She writes one word in big letters. Shadowing. She turns to us and says, "This is one of the best techniques to improve pronunciation. It is easy. It is free. And it works." We all look at her. She has our full attention. She continues, "Shadowing means you copy what you hear. You hear a sentence in English, and you say it again immediately. Like a shadow. You do this again and you copy not just the words, but the music of the sentence, the rhythm. the voice. This helps your mouth and brain to learn together. She explains more. She says, when you speak English, you often move your mouth the same way you do in your native language. That's why your pronunciation sounds different. Rec. But when you do shadowing, you train your mouth to move like a native speaker. You use your muscles in a new way. Chuking. At first, it feels strange. Maybe your mouth hurts after 5 minutes. That means it is working. You are training new muscles. I think about this. I think about sports. When I play football, I also train my muscles. Maybe pronunciation is the same. Maybe it's not about being perfect. It's about practicing. The teacher gives us more advice. She says, start with something simple. Choose a short video or audio. Something you understand well. Play one sentence. Pause. Say the same sentence. Then play the next one. Repeat it. Do this for 5 minutes a day. Your pronunciation will get better. Slowly, but surely. She looks at the quiet Korean student and says, you are not alone. Many people feel shy, but you don't need to feel bad. Your voice is beautiful. All you need is practice. But the world needs to hear your voice. After class, I stay for a moment. I walk to the teacher and say, I want to try shadowing. Can you help me choose something to start with? She says, yes, of course. Try short interviews with subtitles or use children's stories in English. They are slow and clear. Listen and repeat. I thank her. Then I go to the library. I find a small video of a man talking about his dog. K. He speaks slowly. I play it. He says, this is my dog. His name is Max. I pause the video and say, this is my dog. His name is Max. I play the next line. I repeat again, slain. I do this for 10 minutes. My voice sounds strange at first, but after a few minutes, I start to enjoy it. It feels like music practice. Later that evening, I go to my football training. I join the school team. There are students from many countries: Brazil, Japan, Italy, Russia. We speak in English. Our English is simple, but it is enough. We laugh. We play. We run. We miss goals. We score goals. We shout words like pass and good job. I don't feel shy here. I don't worry about mistakes. We all use the same small English, but we understand each other. It is beautiful. I speak more. I feel free. When training ends, I walk home with a smile. I think about the boy from Korea. I think about the shadowing method. I think about my football team. I see that speaking is not about being perfect. It is about being brave. I write in my notebook, if you want to speak better, repeat after native speakers. Practice every day. Don't stop. Chapter 7. Monica returns. It is Thursday again. 1 full week has passed since my first day at school. Every day I learn something new. Every day I speak more English. I feel stronger, more open, more alive. Today, I walk into the classroom and something is different. There is a new student sitting in the front row. She smiles at everyone. Our teacher walks in and her face lights up. She says, "Monica, welcome back." The whole class turns to look at the new girl. She stands up and gives the teacher a hug. The teacher says, "Monica was my student last year. She studied with me for only 2 weeks. She was a beginner at that time. Now, just listen." The teacher asks Monica, "How are you?" Monica says, "I am very well, thank you. I'm happy to be here again. I missed your class." Her voice is soft, clear, and confident. Her English sounds natural. Everyone looks surprised. We can hear how fluent she is. The teacher smiles and says, "Wow, Monica, your English is amazing now. You speak so well. Where did you learn?" Monica says, "At home. I didn't go to any school. I just used the things you taught us. I read simple books. I did shadow every day. And I used a new habit you showed us, thinking aloud. I hear this new word. Thinking aloud? What is that? I have never heard it before. I become very curious." Ang. Our teacher laughs and says, "You remembered that?" Yes, thinking aloud is a strong method, but only if you use it often. I raise my hand. I say, "Sorry, what is thinking aloud?" The teacher says, "That is a very good question." "Thank you, Ariel. Let me explain." She walks to the board and writes, "Thinking aloud. Thinking aloud, saying your thoughts in English." Then she turns to us and says, "You think in your language all the time. Your brain is full of thoughts. Now imagine if all those thoughts were in English." That's what we try to do. Front, and when you say them out loud, you practice even more. You speak without needing a partner. You speak to yourself. The idea sounds strange to me, speak to myself, like talking to an invisible person. But I want to learn. I say, I want to try it. I don't care if it feels crazy. The teacher laughs and says, "Yes, Ariel. Sometimes it feels silly, but it works." Then she looks at Monica and says, "Would you like to tell the class how you used this technique?" Rar log. Monica nods. She begins, "When I went back to Italy after your class, I was still a beginner. I wanted to speak English, but I had no partner. So I started thinking in English. Simple things, like, why want coffee? I need to wash my hands. The sky is blue." I said these things out loud when I was alone. I didn't translate. I just spoke, slowly. Every day. "Shoo," she continues. "At first it was hard. My Italian thoughts were fast. My English thoughts were slow. But I kept going. I accepted the slowness. I repeated many simple lines every day. Goat, I can speak English. I want to be better. I don't know many words, but I can use them well. I can speak clearly. I can improve." These small sentences became my new friends. The class is silent. We all listen. It feels like a story. A beautiful one. Monica smiles and says, after some time, English thoughts became natural. They came first. And when I met a man from Australia during his holiday in Italy, I could speak to him. I didn't need to translate. I just talked. That's when I knew this method really works. I look at her and I feel a mix of feelings. I feel inspired. I feel excited. I feel ready. I want to try this technique. I want to think in English too. I want to feel what she felt. I want to speak like her one day. I write in my notebook. Try thinking aloud. Talk to yourself in English. Don't wait for someone to speak with you. Be your own partner. After class, I walk home. On the way, I whisper to myself, "This is a nice street. I like this building. I am going to my room. I will study later." The words are slow. They are simple, but they are mine. My thoughts. In English, I feel strange, but I also feel free. I am using English outside school. I am making English my own. That evening, I practice more. I look at my water bottle and say, I am drinking water. It is good for me. I smile at my small sentence. It is not perfect, but it is alive. Chapter 8. The Power of Thinking Aloud. The next morning, I wake up early. I look at the ceiling and I remember Monica's words from yesterday. I can speak English. I want to be better. I don't know many words, but I can use them well. Her sentences still echo in my mind. They were simple, but they were full of life. I sit on the side of my bed and say, "Good morning. I am awake. I will go to school. I will speak English." It feels strange. I speak slowly. I hear my own voice. But I don't feel shy. There is no one around. It is just me and my thoughts. I am trying to think in English. I am saying my thoughts out loud. I remember the teacher's words. This is your free practice. You don't need a partner. You can speak to yourself. As I brush my teeth, I look at the mirror. I try again. I am brushing my teeth. The water is cold. I feel sleepy. These are not deep sentences, but they are mine. My own voice, my own language. I try not to think in Spanish. I try to stay in English. It is not easy. My mind wants to go back to my native words. But I pull it back. I say, no. English now. I walk to school. On the street, I look at things and talk softly. The car is red. That shop sells fruit. I see a woman with a dog. I feel a little silly, but also proud. I am not just studying English. I am using it. I am using it. I am living it. At school, the teacher asks, "Did anyone try thinking aloud?" I raise my hand. I say, "Yes, I tried this morning. It felt new, but I liked it." She smiles. "Very good, Ariel. That's the spirit." Another student says, I also tried, but I forgot words. The teacher says, that's okay. It's normal. Don't stop. When you don't know a word, use another. Describe what you mean. That's how you grow. Then she says something powerful. You don't need perfect English in your head. Egg. You need English that moves, that comes out, that lives. Thinking aloud helps you find your English voice. We do a small activity in class. The teacher says, think of something you do every day. Speak it out loud. Say it step by step. I think of making coffee. I say, I open the kitchen door. I turn on the light. I fill the kettle. I wait. I make my coffee. I sit. I drink slowly. The sentences come slowly, but clearly. The teacher nods. Good, Ariel. See how much you know? You don't need to study grammar for this. You just need to speak. Later that day, I go to work. On my way, I keep thinking aloud. I am going to work. I will see Emma. I will make coffee. I will speak to customers. At the cafe, I smile more. I speak more clearly. I say, would you like sugar? Or have a good day. These small lines feel easier now. My tongue moves faster. My words are more natural. I think the thinking aloud technique is helping me. I don't need a book to do this. I don't need a teacher with me all the time. How? I only need my voice, my thoughts, and my decision to try. After my shift, I sit in the small park near the cafe. The air is cool. I look around and I say to myself, this is a nice park. There are children playing. A man is reading a book. I hear birds. I smile. I feel peaceful. My thoughts are no longer just in Spanish. They are in English too. I am changing. I am growing. I remember something Monica said. At first, the thoughts are slow, but later, they become your real voice. I think, maybe one day, my English voice will be fast. Maybe one day, I will not need to think before I speak. When I return to my room, I write again in my notebook. I write, thinking aloud is a gift. It feels strange at first, but it works. It makes English feel close. It makes me feel brave. Then I add more sentences. I can speak. I am improving. I am not afraid. I make mistakes, but I also make progress. These are not just notes. They are a conversation with myself. Pay. A small diary of my learning. A soft voice that says, keep going. That night, before sleep, I whisper again. Today was a good day. I learned. I spoke. I lived in English. I close my eyes and feel thankful. I know this is not the end. This is just the beginning of something special. Chapter 9. Grammar worries. It is Friday morning. I feel more comfortable now. Every day I go to school. Every day I speak a little more. I make coffee at work. I talk to customers. I listen to people in the street. I think in English. I even talk to myself in English when I'm walking or doing something alone. My words are still simple. My sentences are not perfect, but they are mine. I use them. I live with them. I feel proud of my progress. But there is one thing that still makes me nervous. Grammar. I never liked grammar. Even in my own language, grammar felt heavy, full of rules and strange names. Now, in English, it feels even harder. Sometimes I want to say something, but I stop. I think, is this correct? Then I feel afraid. Then I say nothing. I wonder, should I study grammar more? When I reach the classroom, I hear another student asking a question. She says, "Teacher, when I speak, I am not sure if I use the right grammar. I want to speak correctly. What should I do?" I listen closely. I want to know the answer too. Well, the teacher smiles gently and says, "That's a very good question. Many students feel the same. But first, let me ask you something. Why do you want to learn English?" The student says, "I want to speak with people." The teacher nods and says, "Good, then I have something to tell you. If your goal is to speak, then you don't need to study grammar like in school. You need to use English. Grammar will come naturally." We all look surprised. "No grammar? Really?" She continues, "When you learned your first language, you didn't study grammar. You spoke, you listened. You repeated what others said. You made mistakes, but you got better. Your brain is smart. It learns from use, not from rules in a book." I feel something open inside me. I think about how I learned Spanish. I didn't study it. I lived it. I listened to my parents. I spoke with friends. Slowly, I understood. Slowly, I spoke better. Maybe I can do the same with English. The teacher says, when you read, you see grammar in real sentences. You learn how words work together. You don't need to know the names of the tenses. You just need to see and feel how English works. When you do shadowing, you copy correct grammar. When you think aloud, you practice making sentences. These are better than memorizing rules, because they are real. They are living English. I nod slowly. This makes sense. I write in my notebook, read more, shadow more, speak more. Grammar will come. One student raises his hand. He says, "But what if someone wants to pass an English exam?" The teacher says, "That is different. If you need to pass an exam, then yes, you may have to study grammar directly, but only for that test. That's a special goal. And for that, you can get old test papers and practice with them. But if you want to speak English in life, in real situations, then speak, read, and listen. That is the way I feel calm. I feel free. I don't want to pass an exam. I want to speak. I want to live in English. This is my goal. After class, I walk to work. On the way, I speak softly to myself. Today is Friday. I will go to the cafe. I will make coffee. I will smile at people. The grammar is simple. The words are small. Yeah. But I speak with no fear. I don't think too much. I just speak. I feel my English becoming more natural. At the cafe, I talk to Emma. I say, I feel better now. My speaking is easier. She says, yes, I can hear that. You are more relaxed. I feel happy. I talk to customers without thinking too much. I don't stop to ask, is this correct? I just speak, and most of the time they understand me. That is what matters. When the day ends, I go to a quiet place near the river. I sit on a bench and think about my English. I say aloud, I am not perfect, but I am better. I don't need to be perfect. I just need to express my ideas. I feel strong. I feel free. I open my notebook and write, speak to be understood, not to be perfect. I draw a small smile next to the words. I think of my old self, the boy who was afraid to talk on the train, the boy who only translated songs in his room. That boy is still me, but now I am also someone else. I am someone who speaks English in the real world. I am someone who grows every day. I close my eyes and whisper, thank you. Chapter 10. Testing Yourself. It is Saturday. There is no class today. I wake up later than usual. I feel relaxed. But then a small question comes into my mind. I ask myself, how much English do I know now? I don't know the answer. I speak more. I understand more. But how much? Am I really improving? Or do I just feel better because I'm more confident? I want to know. I want to test myself. I want to see how far I have come. Not for a grade. Not for school. Just for me. Just to feel sure that I am growing. So I decide to do a little test. Not a grammar test. Not a hard exam. Just a small activity. I take a blank notebook. I sit on my bed. I open to the first page and I write this. What do I do in a normal day? Then I try to write my full daily routine in English. I write about waking up, brushing my teeth, going to school, learning new things, working at the cafe, talking to customers, walking home, eating dinner, and sleeping. I write slowly. I don't worry about mistakes. I only focus on writing as much as I can in English. After censor minutes, I stop and look at the page. I feel proud. It's full. Full of my own English words. The spelling is not perfect. Some grammar is wrong. But I understand every word. And most important, I made it. All by myself. Then I decide to test another skill. Listening. I open YouTube and search for a slow English story. I find one about a girl who moves to a new city. I close my eyes and listen. I understand almost every sentence. Not every word, but enough to follow the story. I smile. I remember the first time I listened to English. I understood nothing. Now I understand the meaning. That is a big step. Later, I go to the cafe. I work the afternoon shift. While working, I try to use new sentences. I say, "Do you want milk with your tea? Or would you like to sit near the window?" Simple phrases. But before, I didn't use them. I was afraid. Now I try. Some customers are surprised. One man says, "Your English is getting better." I laugh. I say, "Thank you. I'm practicing." It feels good. This is also a test, real life. Real English. Real people. Real answers. After work, I meet a friend from school. His name is Luca. He is from Italy, wants to test his English. We sit in a park and decide to talk only in English for 1 hour. No Italian, no Spanish, just English. At first, we are a little shy. We both speak slowly. Pat. We search for words. But after 10 minutes, we both smile. We talk about food, about football, about dreams. The hour goes fast. I laugh a lot. I forget I'm speaking English. It feels like my own language. That is the best feeling in the world. When I return home, I write in my notebook, "Today, I tested myself." And I passed. Not because I was perfect, but because I tried, and I saw the results. I also write a small note for tomorrow, test again next week. Speak more. Listen more. Write more. Grow more. I understand something important now. You don't need a big exam to know your level. You can test yourself in small ways. Try writing a page. Try listening to a short story. Try speaking with a friend. Try talking to yourself in English. These are your real tests. You can test your English with your life. That is how you grow. At night, I look in the mirror and say, "I'm proud of you." I smile. I feel strong. I feel like a student who is no longer just learning English. I am now using English to live. That is a big change. A beautiful change. Chapter 11. Handling Mistakes. It is Monday again. I go to class like always. The sun is shining, but one student looks worried. Her name is Hana. She is from Japan. She always listens carefully. But today, she is quiet. Our teacher asks her, "Is everything okay?" Hana looks down. Then she says, "I'm afraid to speak. I make many mistakes." I don't want to sound stupid. The room becomes very quiet. I look at Hana. I understand her. I feel the same sometimes. Many of us do. We want to speak. We want to practice. But we are afraid. What if people laugh? What if we say the wrong word? What if our sentence sounds strange? It's like a wall inside our head. The words want to come out, but they hit that wall of fear. Then the teacher speaks. Her voice is soft but strong. She says, Hannah, mistakes are part of learning. You cannot grow without them. You cannot speak well unless you speak badly first. We all listen carefully. She walks to the board and writes in big letters, mistakes, progress. She turns to us and says, children fall when they learn to walk. You fall. You cry. But you stand up. Again and again. One day, you run. That is how learning works. Then she tells us a story. She says, when I first learned French, I once told a waiter that I wanted to kiss the food, not eat it. Everyone laughed. But I laughed too. I never forgot the right word after that. We all laugh with her. Even Hannah smiles. The room feels lighter. The teacher looks at us and says, the real mistake is silence, not speaking at all. If you speak and make a mistake, that is good. That means you are trying. That means you are learning. Don't fear mistakes. Welcome them. I write those words in my notebook. Don't fear mistakes. Welcome them. After class, I think about my own fear. I remember last week when I forgot a word while talking to a customer. I just stood there, smiling, frozen. I didn't know what to say. It felt terrible. But now, I think, maybe that was not a bad moment. Maybe that was a moment to learn. If I had spoken, even with mistakes, I would have learned faster. So I decide something. From now on, I will make mistakes with pride. I will speak even if I am unsure. I will ask questions. I will laugh at myself. I will grow. Because I know one thing now. People don't laugh because you're wrong. They laugh with kindness. They laugh because they also understand how hard it is. In the evening, I go to work. A man asks me, what is the soup of the day? I forget the word for tomato. I say, it is the red round vegetable soup. The man laughs. He says, ah, tomato. Perfect. I'll take that. I laugh too. I say, yes, tomato. It feels good. It feels free. It is not perfect English, but it is real. It is honest, and it works. Later, I tell Emma about it. She says, you're brave. Many people stay quiet. You speak. That is strong. I feel something warm in my heart. I feel proud. Not because I got it right, but because I didn't run away from the mistake. I stood there, and I kept going. That night, I think of Hannah again. I wonder if she will speak more tomorrow. I think she will, because today, something changed in all of us. We saw that mistakes are not monsters. They are teachers. They show us what we don't know, so we can learn it. Before sleeping, I talk to myself in English. I make small mistakes. I smile. I keep going. I whisper, mistakes are my friends. They help me grow. Chapter 2 Memory Problems. It is Tuesday morning. I sit in the classroom and feel ready to learn. I open my notebook. I look at the words I wrote yesterday, but something is wrong. I juking. I don't remember them. I read the words again. I feel confused. Why is it so hard to remember new words? I write them. I read them. I say them out loud. But the next day I forget. I feel sad. Maybe I'm not good at learning. Maybe my brain is slow. I look around the room. I think maybe other students feel the same. Then I see Ahmed. He looks frustrated too. He puts down his pen. He whispers to himself, "Why do I forget everything?" Our teacher hears him. She stops writing on the board and turns to the class. Worded. She smiles gently and says, "Let's talk about memory." She tells us many students think they are bad at remembering. But really, it's it's not your fault. Your memory is normal. Yeah. You just don't understand how it works yet. Today, I will teach you the 5 phases of remembering. We all listen closely. She writes on the board written E, see it, R, understand it, San, use it, Su, repeat it, Wu, sleep on it. She explains the first phase. When you see a new word, your brain notices it. But just one time is not enough. It's like seeing a new person in a crowd. You don't know them yet. She draws a small stick figure on the board. You need more time. Then she explains the second phase. You must understand the word. What does it mean? How do people use it? Try to see it in a sentence. Make your own sentence. That gives the word a place in your mind. I nod. That makes sense. The third phase, use it. You must use the word in speaking or writing. That is how your brain says, "Yo, this word is important." When you use it, the word moves to a stronger place in your memory. Fourth phase, repeat it. Not just today, not just tomorrow, but again and again. Small reviews, quick looks. Write it. Say it. Touch the word in your life many times. The last phase makes everyone smile. Sleep on it. Yes, sleep. When you sleep, your brain works hard. It moves new words into long-term memory. So don't just study more. Sleep well too. I feel a big wave of relief. My heart feels light. It's not that I am stupid. It's not that I can't remember. I just didn't follow the 5 steps. Now I know what to do. Ahmed also smiles. He says, "This is helpful." Thank you, teacher. After the lesson, I test the steps. I choose 5 new words. I write them. I look up their meanings. Kalakamet meanings. I say them in a sentence. I ask Emma to use them with me in a small chat, 2 hours. Then at night, I read the 5 words again. I close the book and go to sleep. The next morning, I wake up and say the words out loud. Hey. I remember 3 of them clearly. 2 are not strong yet, but it's okay. I go back to phase 1 and 2 for those words. I smile. I am not lost. I now have a map. That day, I meet an old woman in the cafe. She is kind. I serve her coffee and use one of the new words. She says, "That's a nice word." I feel proud. I remember it. It is now a part of me. Like a seed growing in my brain. Before bed, I write a small note. To remember more, follow the 5 steps. Be kind to your brain. It is learning. Chapter 13, How to Listen Better. It is Wednesday morning. I sit in the classroom, waiting for the lesson. I feel calm today. I remembered more words yesterday, and it gives me hope. When the teacher comes in, she has something in her hand. It is a small radio. She holds it up and smiles. Today, she says, we will learn about listening. I look around. Some students look worried. One student says, listening is too fast for me. Another says, I understand nothing when I hear English. I also feel nervous. When people speak fast English, my brain stops. I only catch 1 or 2 words. I feel lost. It's like water falling too fast, and I can't hold it. But the teacher says listening is not studying. Yo, it is living. And you can enjoy it if you know how. That sounds strange. Enjoy listening? How? I always thought I needed to focus hard, to write down words, to stop every second. That is how I used to listen to English. But I never felt relaxed. Then the teacher turns on the radio. A soft English voice starts to speak. It's a story. It is slow and clear. We all listen quietly. No notebooks, no writing, just listening. I close my eyes. The voice tells a story about a boy in a boat. I don't understand every word, but I feel the story. I imagine the boy. I see the water in my mind. I feel calm. After 5 minutes, the teacher turns off the radio. She says, you don't need to understand every word. You need to feel the sound. Listen like music. Let it touch you. Don't fight it. Then she gives us 3 tools. Tool 1, easy input. Listen to slow English, simple stories, children's books. English for learners. Don't start with fast news, she says. Start with soft English, like a river. Tool 2. Repeat often. Listen to the same thing many times. Each time you hear more, she says, your brain starts to catch patterns. That's how babies learn. You can too. Tool 3. Don't stop the audio. Just let it play, even if you miss words. Don't pause. Don't rewind. Let your brain swim in the sound. I write these steps in my notebook, Medomet E. Easy input. R. Repeat often. San. No pausing. Then she says something powerful. You don't learn to listen by trying harder. You learn by relaxing more. After class, I go to the library. I find a section called Easy English Audiobooks. I take one and borrow a CD player. I sit by the window. I press play. A kind English voice begins to read a story about a dog named Max. I smile. It is simple. I listen twice. That evening, I talk to Emma. I tell her about the listening class. She says I do that too. I watch English cartoons. They help me. We go home and sit in the lounge. She puts on an English cartoon. The characters speak slowly and clearly. We laugh at the funny parts. I understand more than I expected. The next day, I listen again to the dog story while walking to school. I don't stop the audio. I just let it play. I hear words like bark, bone, and happy. I repeat them softly. My brain feels light. No pressure. Just fun. Later that week, something happens. A man at the cafe speaks to me in English. He says, "The weather's lovely today." I hear it clearly. I reply, "Yes, it's very sunny." It is fast, but I understand. For the first time, I don't feel scared. I feel ready. Now, listening is a part of my day. I play English in the background while I cook. I listen to easy stories before sleep. Nick, sometimes I don't understand, but that's okay. I keep going. My ears are learning. Even when my mind is quiet. Before bed, I write in my notebook, listening is not study. It is connection. It is music. Let it flow. Chapter 14. Real Motivation. It is a rainy Friday in London. The sky is gray. People walk fast with umbrellas. I walk slowly to school. My legs move, but my mind feels tired. I feel heavy. My job at the cafe is hard. My English is better, but sometimes I feel stuck. I want to speak fast like a native speaker. I want to remember everything. But some days, I just feel slow. I sit down in the classroom. My head is full of doubt. Why am I doing this? Why am I still here? Our teacher enters with a big smile. She says, "Today we will talk about motivation. Why do you want to learn English?" No one answers at first. She writes on the board, "Your reason is your fuel." Then she looks at us one by one. Let's go around the room. Each of you, tell us your reason. Be honest. Speak from your heart. She points to Ahmed. He sits up and says, "I want to get a good job. In my country, English opens doors." We nod. That makes sense. Emma says, "I want to travel alone. I want to talk to people, ask for help, make friends. I want to feel free." Her eyes shine. You? Monica says, "I love English movies. I want to understand them without subtitles. I want to feel the emotion in every word." Even the quiet student from Korea says, "I want to speak to my cousin." Kay. He lives in Canada. I want to talk to him in English. He doesn't speak Korean well. Then it's my turn. I pause. I look out the window. The rain is falling slowly. Mickey. My heart beats a little faster. I say, I want to sing the Beatles. I want to understand their songs. When I was small, my father played them every Sunday. Hey, I didn't understand the words, but I felt something. The music stayed in my heart. I promised myself one day I will sing these songs and understand every word. The room is silent. The teacher smiles. That, she says, is real motivation. That is your story. And stories keep us going when days feel hard. I feel warm inside. I remember my father's old radio. I remember the soft sound of Let It Be playing in our kitchen. I remember singing yesterday without knowing what it meant. Now, I can look at the lyrics and understand most of the words. Not all, but more than before. After class, I go home and take out my phone. I search for the Beatles. Hey Jude with lyrics. Kane. I sit on my bed and play the song. The words move slowly across the screen. I listen. I read. I smile. I sing softly. I understand the meaning now, and the feeling is deep. I close my eyes. The music fills the room. In the evening, I meet Emma for tea. I tell her about the class. She says, it's true. When we remember our reason, we feel strong again. I ask her, what do you do when you feel tired? She says, I watch my favorite English show, or I listen to a song that reminds me why I started. That night, I take a small notebook and write one sentence. I learn English to sing from the soul. Then I underline it. That is my reason. That is my light. Some days are hard. That's true. But your reason can carry you. It can lift you. It can bring you back when you feel lost. When learning feels slow, remember your first dream. Maybe it was a book. Maybe a job. Maybe a person. Maybe a song. My motivation is music. Your motivation may be different, but it lives inside you. Let it speak. Chapter 15, 3,000 words. The lesson starts like any other, but today, one student raises her hand and asks something important. She says, Teacher, how many words do I need to speak English well? The teacher thinks for a moment, then writes a number on the board. San Chen. Everyone looks surprised. That sounds like a lot. The student asks again, so, should we memorize Sanchen words? The teacher smiles gently and says, no, don't memorize them. That's not how language works. She then tells us a story. Once, a student made a list of Sanchen words. Yet, he studied every day, 10 new words each day. After 1 year, he had learned almost all. But when he spoke, he was still slow. He forgot many words when talking. He didn't understand much when people spoke fast. Why? Because he never used the words in real life. She pauses and says, words are like people. You don't really know them after one meeting. You know them after you talk to them many times, in many places. That's how it works with vocabulary. I listen quietly. I understand what she means. I also tried to learn words from lists when I started. I downloaded apps. I filled notebooks. But when I spoke to someone, the words disappeared from my brain. Pie! I felt confused and lost. The teacher continues, "Don't chase Sanson words. Let them come to you. Meet them in stories, in real conversations, in songs, in shows. When you see a word many times, in many places, your brain remembers it naturally." Ill learning, she says. If you read and listen every day, the Sanson most common words will visit you again and again, and they will stay with you. Then she opens a book and reads a short paragraph. We listen. We know many words already. A few are new. She explains nothing. We just listen again. This time, I understand more. My brain is doing the work. No stress. No pressure. She looks at us and says, language is not about force. It's about feeling. Read a little. Listen a little. Every day. Don't worry about the number. Just connect. At school, I go to the library. I pick up an easy English storybook. I read 3 pages. I see some words again. Quietly. Window. Wait. Smile. I don't look them up. I understand them from the story. It feels natural. On the bus home, I think about Sans words. I realize something. I already know many. Maybe Wubite, maybe I Chen, and each day I learn more without making a list. Just by living with English. At work that evening, a customer asks me, "Can I get a sandwich without onions?" I understand every word. I smile and say, "Of course." Then I write no onions on the order paper. I feel proud. 2 new words I didn't study, but now I know them. Later that night, I listened to my favorite Beatles song again. Within. This time, I understand the line, "Take a sad song and make it better." I feel something deep inside. Words with feelings stay longer. I take my notebook and write, "Don't study words. Live with them. Let them find you." Chapter 16. It is a busy morning at the cafe. I put on my apron and take a deep breath. I feel ready. My English is better now. I understand customers. I speak with confidence. I take orders, smile, and make small talk. I even enjoy the job now. But today something strange happens. A man walks in and comes to the counter. He smiles and says something to me. I hear the words, but I don't understand anything. His voice is fast. The words sound strange. It's English, but it feels like a different language. I feel my heart beat faster. I say, "Sorry, can you repeat that, please?" He smiles again and repeats it. Still, I understand only 2 words. Toast and tea, I try to guess. Would you like toast and tea? Chapter 19. The final lesson. It is the last day of school. The sun shines through the window. The classroom feels quiet, soft, like a dream coming to an end. My teacher stands in front of the class. She says, "Today we say goodbye, but not to English. We say goodbye to fear, to confusion, to silence. You are not the same students anymore." My heart beats slowly. I look around. I see the faces of my classmates. Some smile, some cry. I feel something deep in my chest. A year ago, I was afraid to speak. I didn't know what to say. I was shy. I was lost. But now I speak every day. I work in English. I think in English. I feel in English. My voice is stronger. Our teacher asks, "Would anyone like to share something before we finish?" I raise my hand. She nods. I stand up. I say, "1 year ago, I was new here. I didn't know many words. I didn't speak much, but you all helped me. This class helped me. You showed me how to learn. Not just words, but confidence. Not just grammar, but life." Everyone is silent. Some smile. Some smile. Some wipe tears. I continue. Now I work in a cafe. I listen to customers. I help them. I play football with people from many countries. I make mistakes, but I don't stop. I read, I listen, I shadow, I speak. And something beautiful happened last week. I pause. I was helping a new student from Turkey. K. He didn't know how to ask for help in English. So I showed him, slowly, with easy words. I used the same methods my teacher used with me, and he smiled. He said, Thank you." And I felt something big. I was a teacher for one moment. The teacher claps. The class claps. I sit down. My eyes are full of water, but I smile. After the class, I walk through the same streets I walked when I first came to London. The shops are the same. The buses are the same. But I am not the same. Later, I go to my job at the cafe. A girl comes in. She looks nervous. She says slowly, "I want coffee, please." I smile. I speak slowly back. I say, "Good job." "Don't worry. I understand." She nods shyly. I see myself in her eyes. At night, I look at the moon and think, one day, maybe I can be a teacher. A real teacher. Not just of English, but of hope. 1 year later, I teach English in my country. Not in a big school. Just in a small room. For beginners. For shy people. For people who think, I can't. And I tell them, yes, you can. I tell them my story. I tell them about the ladies on the train. About my teacher. About learning slowly. About football. About my cafe job. About shadowing. About reading. About Hannah. And about how one day English stopped being scary. They listen. And they believe. Because I was once like them. because they are now like I was. Because English is not just a language, it's a door, and I walked through it. So can you. If Ariel's journey touched your heart, and if you also want to speak English one day, like him, start today. One word, one sentence, every day. Subscribe to this channel, like the video, and comment below. Do you also want to become the next Ariel? We read every comment. And we believe in your story, too.